सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.
You're listening to Bare Knuckle Bhakti Shorties on the Bhakti Recovery Podcast with Jiva G, coming at you every Monday with a little spiritual something. Good morning, good afternoon. One day late. I'm sorry about that, guys, but I have a special treat on our Shorties today. I'm sitting here with one of my favorite people, one of the people I've been very fortunate enough to have in my life, helping me along this bhakti path. And we are sitting here having a conversation about criticism and discernment. Let's welcome Mr. Raghunath Cappo.
Haribo. So how long is these Shorties?
They can go anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes.
Okay, great.
There's no time limit.
Well, we're talking about criticism today, and Jiva brought up this point. If you're always worried about hearing criticism, because all the sacred literature warns, all the great masters warn, do not criticize and do not hear criticism. And some people will argue, this is all a setup so leaders can get away with murder and not have to hear any criticism. I think it's different. There's a difference between indulging. Right, it means to indulge in pudding. It means not just eating it, eating 3 things of pudding.
Till you're sick. Till you're sick.
That's an indulgence. Yeah. So it's one thing to call something out. That's called discernment. This behavior is inappropriate. Then to say, this behavior is inappropriate. What a fool. I can't believe he would do. What's wrong with him? I can't believe he would do that. No, when things are actually wrong and you call them out, that's not a type of criticism. That's a type of discernment. And you can't make spiritual advancement in bhakti without discernment. Discernment means you've sharpened your intelligence, and your intelligence is directing you, not just my bad habits of finding fault with everybody. And it is a fine line, and it is very nuanced. And I've caught myself calling really inappropriate things out, but then dipping into old bad habits of feeling better about myself because that person screwed up.
So this is really important we're talking about this, because I think people who are, somewhat newer to the bhakti tradition and maybe coming from a 12-step point of view or not, when I hear from other people like, please, be careful associating with XYZ person or that, we say in the program, stick with the winners. What that means is stick with the people who are doing their program, who are working their steps, who are doing this, and it's the same in association. You want to stick with the like-minded people. Now, the danger of that is when a like-minded person is someone who loves to gossip, who loves to do this, and you kind of flock together, and it makes you feel better. And I think approaching bhakti in a material way with our conditionings, which I am guilty of, because I am conditioned, period. I'm not completely that, but there are things where you come into a situation and I just lost my thread.
Anyway, you come into I get it. You come into association with people, and we become influenced by their association. And sometimes those people, they're on a gossip train, and the train's going to go right by you unless you jump on the train with them. They're just, and you get sucked into it almost like a vacuum.
Absolutely. Now that I was thinking, there are safety in numbers.
Sure.
So the difference between calling someone, let's say you have a senior, quote unquote senior,
devotee.
Or someone, who's longer in the program than you, or whatever it is, right? You have someone who's just more experienced than you are, and they're doing something that's not so kosher.
Sure.
And you know this.
Sure.
Because you just know this. Now, if I think a lot of people feel like they are not allowed to approach a senior in the bhakti, in the bhakti tradition and say like, hey,
I think what you're doing is not right. And I think it causes a lot of that background chatter because people are not feeling safe to be able to approach somebody and let them know, hey,
Sure.
you know what
I think for the most part, there is a type of etiquette you would go to. If I saw a senior person
doing something wrong,
I would go to that senior's god brother and say, I really think what this guru did is wrong. What do you think about that? I'm in no position to correct because in Bhakti, we say that Bhakti trickles down. Mm-hmm. Even in these stories of Lord Chaitanya, he had a elder that was on the same level of his guru as far as like chronologically. He was the god brother of his guru. And so the guy was doing one bad thing after another. Like he's like, here, I want you to eat. And he would overfeed Lord Chaitanya. Please eat more. And then he'd say, how dare you eat so much? He's like, you just gave me all this food to eat. And he would just do one thing after another. But Lord Chaitanya would never instruct him. But so the way to deal with that.
And so why? Why would he never instruct him?
Because
why
he felt
not?
like this is my guru's god brother. I'm in no position to instruct.
Okay.
And there is and Bhakti does flow like that. It flows downward. And so we think, well, however they deal with it, that's their business. But that doesn't mean, especially because people could argue, say, oh, this is a lot of room for abuse. No, it doesn't have to be. You could you never put yourself in danger, of course. And I have called out when I felt like there was danger, But I would go but in a polite way, if you want to follow etiquette. And it's sometimes better to have etiquette than just to like, I'm going to tell this guy off. See, that's the thing about Bhakti. It's such a cultured environment that my side, when I see somebody do something wrong, I want to punch them right in the face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I have to be a little bit more diplomatic, a little bit more refined, because it's a beautiful culture. So if I see something wrong, I would go to a god brother of his or hers and say, I really think that's inappropriate. I think it's bad. I think it's affecting people in a bad way. And is there any way you can talk to them? I don't feel appropriate to talk to them about it because I'm such a junior.
So this is a really interesting point because when, I think a lot of, we all have ego. We all have a bruised ego. We all have some sort of, like, oh, what is this? You're higher, I'm lower. This is ridiculous. A lot of people think that. There are a lot of people who think that because it hurts their ego to be, to be lower.
Sure.
But the thing is, learning how to follow etiquette, because the thing is that we don't understand, and I'm going to say this for myself because I have a bruised, battered ego. Coming into this, I have to always stop and take pause and understand that sometimes my first reaction is going to be an egoistic reaction, and not like I'm better or I'm worse, but just it's going to hurt.
Can I share a funny story?
Absolutely.
I was sitting in a bus when I was a monk, and there were these senior monks sitting next to me. And one of them, you could tell he wasn't long to being a monk anymore. He was like a swami, but he wasn't long to being a swami because he was so angry all the time. I thought, this guy is not peaceful. But anyway, I was in the bus with like 12 people in this little mini bus, and we're driving. And in India, in springtime, they throw colors, colored powder or colored waters, and they throw them at the cars. And so these guys had like a big bucket, and they were throwing cups of water at cars going by. And the Swami looked at me because I was sitting against these open windows, and he said, "Close the windows. They're throwing colors." And so immediately I just said, "Okay." I just turned, went to close the window, but it was too late. We had passed the colors. They had thrown an entire bucket of blue water throughout the bucket. Like literally, it was like in slow motion. The blue water went past my face. Landed on nobody except the Swami that yelled at me.
My God.
He sort of ordered me to close it. And then he's covered in blue, and he looks at me and he says, "You," in front of everyone, it was super humiliating, talk about ego crushing. He said, "You jackass. I told you 3 times to close that window." Now, in my eyes, first of all, he didn't tell me 3 times. Second of all, I did it as soon as he told me to close it. And third of all, am I really a jackass because I can't stop like velocity or the speed of the bucket going through the window? And I thought there's 2 ways I can react right now. I was really pretty conscious. I'm proud of myself for this. I was like, I can tell I did throw. Who the hell do you think you are? You think I'm a jackass? You're a jackass. But I know from reading that that's not the way to approach this. And the way to approach this, for me at that moment was, you know what? I've gotten away with murder millions of times.
Yes.
So I'm just going to take this one.
Good for you.
And I just took it. But the thing is, that doesn't get them off the hook. That doesn't get them off the hook.
Exactly.
That's where I don't have to be the dispenser of everybody's karma. I don't have to hit them in the stomach or like what I would resort to. There's etiquette is meant to serve your love of God.
Totally.
It's not just like keep your elbows off the table. That's the etiquette. Etiquette in Bhakti is to serve love of God. So by controlling my tongue and owning, you know what? This guy was a little out of line with that, but I got away with murder. I've been out of line millions of times in my life. I've hurt someone millions of times. I'm just going to take this one, take it for the team. And I feel like I won. I feel like that was a win for me.
Now, only if we can do that every single time in our lives.
Well, that's why it's important to take these things from sacred literature and from what the masters say. Be very, very careful about hearing criticism or criticizing, because what will happen is God is dear to everyone. Just like people can talk crap about me, I'm okay with that. But if you talk crap to one of my kids, I lose it. If someone's rude to my child, I get super upset. That analogy is used with Krishna towards his devotees. To the devotees, by offending the devotees, Krishna becomes infuriated. And Krishna makes you lose all taste for hearing and chanting, Shravanam, Kirtanam. So what we try to do is we take these things very seriously. I can discern what they're doing is wrong. That person shouldn't have said that. If it's a dangerous situation, there's a guy running an ashram or a guru, something has to be done for the benefit of all the others.
And what if this is a thing, and it's great that you're bringing this up because, I think often in any religion or any tradition, there's always going to be someone of authority who is abusing that and 100 other people covering it.
Usually, if it's an abuse of authority, it's always nuanced. We tend to think we are always looking for a boogeyman. We're always looking, this guy is 100% bad, or this woman, how dare she? We like to find an enemy. And that way, for our own ego, I can rally about this guy, let's take him down. And I think in relationships, we have to be a little bit more delicate with how we treat people and and they have to be a little bit more delicate too. So it depends on how out of control it is. If it's something physical, violent, or really manipulative. But at the same time, if it's not, you just don't like this person because they're not satisfying your ego, then it's a different thing. You know what I mean? And sometimes you need to just, it's like in the army. That sergeant was way out of line. Well, that's not your position to tell the sergeant he's out of line. Unless the sergeant is raping you, violent, punching you in the face. It's one thing. There's certain lines that should not be crossed and that we shouldn't have to tolerate. And even in that rank and file system, you would go to a superior.
Absolutely.
You're going to punch the sergeant in the face? Good luck with that.
Yeah, even if he does everything wrong with you. I mean, I know when I was in junior high school, I had a gym teacher and she hated me. She hated me, and I knew she hated me.
You sure?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll tell you the rest really quickly. So she got me in the locker room when everybody left, and she put her hands around my throat. I was in 7th grade.
Wow. Were you annoying?
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but...
You're right.
But I was only annoying because she was horrible.
But you told me you were annoying all the time.
Well, I'm not. I'm a really nice person. But if you treat me badly, I'll be annoying.
But you said you were always annoying as a child.
No, I wasn't. I was curious, and I was somebody who was very energetic and curious. And I would question everything. So I guess that can annoy somebody who either can't provide or doesn't have the patience for that. So yeah, that's relative, right?
Yeah.
So
I would have loved to meet young teenage Jiva.
Most of the teachers really did love me. They said that I was really full of potential and I was never disrespectful. But
you weren't. Okay.
No, I was never disrespectful.
It's okay. I think being questioning and
yes, I was more like that.
There is always someone who's constantly disrupting.
No, I was not like that. unless I was just,
I feel bad for teachers nowadays because
Yeah.
kids have carte blanche to do whatever they want, say whatever they want, fight the teacher.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
disrupt
it
the
wasn't
entire
like
class.
that. She just hated me because I was a punk rocker. She hated me. So
okay.
she put me up against the wall. And so I defended myself and I grabbed her and I said, "Don't you ever touch me. I will destroy you." I said that as something like that.
Yeah.
And she went to the principal's office and said that I attacked her and I got suspended.
Sure. Yeah.
So-
There's ways to do it.
Yeah.
Etiquette will end up serving justice better.
But nobody
doesn't-
believed me.
Oh, really?
Nobody believed me. I said, she
But the
did
thing
it.
is-
She
but
put me up against the
It
wall.
doesn't matter. Things will crumble. That building can't stand very long.
Exactly.
It's got no foundation.
And that's the thing. She'll get hers at some
And the thing
point.
is, people say,
Why
no,
not?
no. There are people that get away with murder. Nobody gets away with it.
Absolutely. I agree.
Life is eternal, and punishment is there.
Absolutely.
And it's not my job to be the judge and the jury and God.
I hope that gym teacher's listening. You remember me, you.
I hope they changed.
Me too.
Yeah, I hope they deal with their emotions better.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Right.
So criticism and discernment. I think it's important to discern, and we got to be careful about criticism. And even hearing criticism is problematic. Like hearing people complain about other nice people.
Oh
on a
my God,
spiritual path
totally.
On a regular basis. It's not food for the soul. It's gossip. It's junk food for the ears.
I totally understand that. And you know what, it's really nice that we're talking about this because I think we all do it. You know, we all don't like something that somebody does. And if you get a team of people who don't like it when this one person has these blaring character defects and we all I don't know, some people I don't do that, but a lot of people do gang up on somebody, which I find horrid, but that's something that happens. And I think
People can be horrid, can't they?
yeah, they really can.
Yeah.
I mean, even I can, maybe not that way in other ways.
Sometimes in defense of their horridness,
horrid.
You become horrid.
Yeah,
They're so
exactly.
petty, I'm going to be petty right back.
Exactly.
And and you have wars going on because of that.
Well, thank you for this shorty.
Thanks. I've been called Shorty for a long time now.
It's
Well,
the
I fit
shorty.
right on in. Yeah. Thank you, Jiva. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, man. I owe a lot to you and Kastuba and Radhanath Swami, and I think we're all serving him. And I think
We love him.
Yeah, we do.
He doesn't criticize.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't. I've tried him out. He doesn't criticize.
I really think I need to, learn a lot.
Me too.
I learn a lot.
Here's a shameless plug. My book comes out April 1st. Go to Amazon.
Yes.
From Punk to Monk.
This is going to be amazing. And he's doing an audiobook for those of you who are like me, who are hopelessly.
I got to read my own audiobook. It was really fun.
Yeah, I know. And I'm sure it's fantastic. When's that coming out, the audiobook?
I think it should come out the same time.
And where can you get it?
Audible,
Great.
probably Spotify,
Fantastic.
and the book on Amazon or probably anywhere they sell books.
Anything else you want to plug?
No, that's good. Check out my website, raghunath.yoga, for all our trips we do around the world, yoga teacher trainings, wisdom trainings,
Which I'm on. sometimes
music.
too, right?
Music. Yeah, it's great having you there this
In
time.
Italy. I'll be there in Italy.
In Italy, we have a great retreat. That's on the wisdomofthesages.com website. We do a great touring of Italy, but it's with tons of kirtan and talks, and we have BRG there, Bhakti Recovery, so it's great.
Right. Fantastic.
I'll do a shorty in Italy with you.
Oh, yeah. This will be great. Let's do it. All right.
All right, Harry Bowl.
All right, well, thanks.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. We're still recording.
Thanks for listening. I hope you liked the Monday Shorties. Don't forget to check out our full-length episodes on Thursdays. If you like what you heard, spread the word. Peace out.
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.